Hi, it's me. Hi, Susan, Susie, or Mojo, whatever you call me. I have not gone live for a really long time, and I was feeling kind of inspired to do so today. In fact, I might do so a lot of days. So I have a couple of things to talk about, and I need your help with something. So, first of all, Wednesday evening, 2 days from now, is the Mighty Masterclass called More Than Enough, The Divine Magic of Plenty, hosted by yours truly. It's only $29. Bring a gal pal for $10 extra. And you can go on the website and find it all. So I'm at mojomedium.com. I don't even know if Facebook still will block that. I don't know. I know that Facebook hardly ever shows my posts to anybody, much less live videos. So I may just be pissing in the wind here. I don't even know. How are you? Okay. So here we go. Lots of things to talk about. There's so much going on right now, not just in the world, but in my world, maybe in your world as well. Last night, I smelled a funny smell. It smelled kind of like burnt hair and kind of like natural gas. It's really kind of nasty. And I caught a whiff of it outside. And then about a couple hours later, I could smell it in the house. And I went up and asked my husband. Of course, he couldn't smell anything. And then my daughter was with me, and we're like, what is this smell? So we decided to turn the AC off. So we turned the AC off, and it turned out that sure enough, there was a chemical leak at one of the chemical plants nearby, 11 miles from our house. So we were all on high alert, and my daughter and I were just scrounging online to find information because I tried to turn on the local news, but I don't have cable anymore, and it was a big pain, and it wouldn't come on, and blah, blah, blah. And so we were trying to figure out what was going on. So we went online, and we found out that there was a chemical plant, a chemical company that was heating a rail car to transfer whatever was in the rail car to the factory, and something happened and the gas escaped and it smelled really bad. And so over by the chemical plant, they had a shelter-in-place order and turn off your AC. And even over here, 11 miles away, with the winds the way they were, people over here were burning eyes, burning throat, coughing, that kind of thing. I had a little bit of burning eyes, a little bit of burning throat, just a little bit. And it was, like I said, it was a bad smell. And so even with the air conditioning off, it had already gotten in the house. And then we discovered the vent fans in the bathrooms, were basically just letting in, sorry, I didn't check my hair before I got on. The vent fans were just letting in air. So we turned those on to try to exhaust some of it. And so today, the shelter-in-place order was lifted after just a few hours. And that didn't affect us specifically, but we did it anyway. And, we were glad that we weren't evacuated, but we don't really know what this stuff was. At one time, they said, at first they said it was hydrogen sulfide, maybe, and which is very dangerous and very volatile. And then they said, no, this is something that's used to put odor into natural gas. Do you remember that episode of Friends when Ross was talking about how natural gas doesn't have a smell naturally, that they put that smell in there so that when there's a leak, and he was flirting? Okay. Anyway, so we don't really know what it was. We don't really know what it was, and we probably never will know. It was probably something really toxic, and in 5 years, everybody will come down with cancer or something. But that's what happens when you live in a refinery area. And I'm not really happy about it, actually. I want to move home. I'm going to move back to Conroe. And I'm going to go back to my hometown where there's lots of beautiful tall pine trees and the landscape's kind of hilly, and it's far enough inland that hurricanes don't really affect you. But it's close enough to the beach that you can go to the beach. It was really a sweet spot there. No refineries. Yeah. All right. So there were oil fields around Conroe, but I don't think they're still there anymore. I think they're tapped out. All right. So what do we want to talk about? Let's talk about why would you attract that? So you've probably heard about law of attraction. I'm not going to talk too much about that. even though that's kind of my thing, you know. And I don't even call it law of attraction. It's just that that's what a lot of people recognize. But I call it manifestation or making magic. And the reason I call it making magic is that if you do it right, it can really seem like magic. It really can. And that's what More Than Enough, Divine Magic of Plenty is about. That's the masterclass that's on Wednesday. And so I want to talk about why would I attract that? Because I think a lot of people hear about law of attraction, and what they know is that if you want it bad enough that it'll happen, you know, or that you can shift your vibration so that you're, you know, vibrating with the thing that you want, and then it has no choice but to come to you. And you know, and that sounds like hocus pocus, doesn't it? I don't want to put down that concept because it is essentially true. It's just not really very helpful. And I think a lot of people don't recognize that the law of attraction or manifestation, it is going on all the time. You are constantly creating what's going on in your life. And I can't even get into the argument about is it choice or is it destiny? Because there do seem to be events in everyone's life that I call destiny points, that are things that have to happen one way or another. It's part of fulfilling your destiny. And so that's kind of, you know, that's a philosophical question. But when it comes to manifestation or law of attraction or allowing or creating the life that you want, then you have to realize that you're always creating, you're always attracting, you're always allowing. It's going on all the time, whether you're getting things that you want or the things you don't want. And that's, you know, that's my specialty, is helping you get the things you do want and not the same old dookie. Just stop settling for the same old dookie, because mostly we don't know how. So what I want to talk about is how could you attract something that you don't want, right? Like, why would I attract that? Oh, and this is a question I've been answering for many, many years now. The reason that you attract things or create things in your life that you don't like is, hold on a second. Sorry, I've got my notes here in front of me. The reason that you might attract something that you don't like for example, a car wreck or losing your job or something like that. There are reasons and there are messages in everything that happens. So there are reasons for you to have the car wreck or whatever. And one of the things that I do is to help you figure out what those messages are. Like, what's the message from this thing that I don't like? What's going on here? But the main message is always going to be, if you're attracting something you don't like, then you don't feel worthy of the opposite of it. Okay, that's the bottom line for everything. I used to say it's all about receiving. Then I realized it was about worthiness, and so I talk about it in terms of divine value, because you have value simply because you have a soul. I'm not going to get into all of that right now, although I certainly could wax poetic. So it's more about pay attention to the messages you're getting, and the messages so often, well, you don't think that you are worthy of better, or you don't believe you're worthy of better, or you don't feel safe with something that is different, because your subconscious is programmed to keep you in what's familiar, whether you like it or not. That's why it's so hard to make changes. You know, our wonderful brains they're just these supercomputers, and they are designed to keep us in what's familiar and what is safe. And so it's important to get through to your subconscious and let it know that you feel worthy and that it is safe to make changes. And so that's what I teach. That's what I talk about. Let's talk about the messages that would come from why would I attract that? I'm trying to manifest something and this happened and I didn't manifest that. Well, yeah, you did. So the question then to ask, the first thing to ask is, why did I attract that? Why did I create that? Why did I manifest this thing that I don't like? So when you accept that you are manifesting everything, then you can look at, okay, so I didn't manifest this on purpose. Why did I manifest it? And when you look at the message, when you start asking, what is the message with this thing that I don't like, whether it's a material thing, I don't like my house, or I don't like my job. It could be an experience, could be a relationship. Oh, I don't, my marriage is bad, or I'm not happy with my appearance, my size, whatever. Then when you start asking, why would I attract that, even if it's been most of your life, why? Then you'll find that the message is always going to pertain to you not receiving well, or you being afraid to get out of what's familiar, probably not consciously. It could be that you just really don't believe subconsciously that you are worthy, or that you have the value that would allow you to have the things that you do want. So it's a little bit complicated, but it's not, once you get it, once you start saying, okay, why did I attract this? No matter what this thing is, it could be a thing you like or a thing you don't like. Why did I attract it? How did I attract it? Why is this showing up in my experience? And it's by breaking it down and figuring out that you don't feel worthy, or you don't feel safe, or you don't receive well, which are all actually part of the same kind of ball of problem. When you start figuring that out, then you can go, oh, okay, so how do I change my mind? How do I get through to my subconscious that it is safe for me to be successful? It is safe for me to have a job I love. It is safe for me to make lots of money. It's safe for me to have a great relationship. It's safe for me to be healthy and thinner. How do I figure out that I have value and that I'm worthy of being and doing and having what I want and love and enjoy? And then you start going, well, how can I receive better? How can I start receiving? So I'll give you a tip about the receiving part. You want to practice receiving. Practice receiving and what you can, how you can say yes, thank you to just about anything. So that when somebody gives you a compliment or holds the door for you, just say thank you. Practice saying thank you, and then think about it for a minute and go, yeah, I'm worthy of having the door held open for me. Yeah, I can identify with that. That's good. I'm worthy of that. Okay, now if somebody compliments your looks and you don't feel worthy of that, then you need to dig deeper on that one. If they say, hey, your hair looks great, I really like it, then you can just say thank you. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. And then think about, okay, so I've attracted this compliment. Why? How? What's the message here? And maybe the message is, I'm worthy of receiving this compliment, so I'm going to receive it and think, well, I may disagree with her opinion and I don't think my hair looks good, but wow, she thinks my hair looks good. I'm going to receive this compliment and take it in and take it seriously. And that's how you start exercising your I am worthy, I am safe muscle. Okay? So start receiving. And even if you're receiving from yourself, stand in front of the mirror and give yourself compliments, or order yourself something and then receive it. Yay, I'm receiving this thing. Oh, it's a gift from myself. Yay, I just got a new pack of pens and they have my favorite color. Look, you can tell it's my favorite color. Look at all of that. So receive, start practicing receiving. Okay, that's enough of a lecture on that. If you want more, come to More Than Plenty. It's the masterclass I'm doing on Wednesday night. More Than Enough, the divine magic of plenty. More Than Plenty comes later, because when you've got plenty, what more could you want? Well, we got to work on that. We got stuff we can always want. Okay, and that's, that's part of the beauty of manifestation, is that you are always reaching for the next thing, because a man's reach should exceed his grasp, right? Else, what's a heaven for? Robert Browning, I think, right? Yeah. Okay, so here's what I need your help with. I have a fantastic session, one-on-one session, that I offer to my clients. It might be you. And they're coaching sessions, but I know that a lot of people don't really know what coaching means. And so I want to give it a name that will help people understand what they'll be getting from this session. And I want to keep it simple, and I want to keep it maybe result oriented, or like, like the name would say, well, what's the result you'll get from this? So the more than enough session. Oh, maybe that's good. More than enough. Or you are plenty session, or divine value session. Right now I'm calling them the divine value consultations. And so what we do, let me tell you what we do. So we get on the phone or Zoom, and we talk about something that's going on with you. And then, like, you'll say, I need help with this issue. Or if you don't know what you need help with, then I can kind of tune in psychically and go, well, let's talk about this. I'll ask you a few questions and we'll pick a topic. And then we can do freestyle coaching, which is where I help you pick out what's important to know and to learn about those things, and what you can do, steps you can take right now. We can also do affirmation or meditation training, which I'm really an expert at that. We can work on those together. And the other thing we can do is what I call Mojo Kojo, which is co-journaling. So you get your journal and I get mine, and I teach you my Q&A method for journaling. And then we ask a question, you write down your answer, I write down mine, and then we compare notes. So between your intuition and mine about you, we really come up with some great information and great inspiration for you. So what should I call this session? Inspiration session and inspiration session. I like that. What do you think? Divine inspiration session, divine download session, divine download. So I've been working on this. I mean, it would be fine to just call it like a, mojo sesh, just whatever. But I'd like to keep it real simple and real clear. So if you can help me with that, I'd appreciate it. Just tell me what you think would be good. Okay? So maybe divine results session. Divine value. I'm not sure. You let me know. And then when I figure out what to call it with your help, then I will go in and redo my graphics and we'll have it all set up. But those consultations are available on the website right now. So you don't have to wait. They're there for you. Okay, that's all I've got, and I will be back soon. Take care.